Welcome!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Omniverse of Nick and part 15 to What If Mercenary Tao Turned Good. Before we get started, be sure to check out the Omniverse's homepage where our channel mascot Omni will direct you to the Discord, both Google Docs, and everything else the Omniverse has to offer, along with smashing the like button, subscribing to the Omniverse of Nick, sharing the Omniverse around and turning on all Omniverse notifications, and commenting future requests and expectations in the comments section. With all that said, let's begin. We open up where we ended off last time. Frieza has survived, somehow, in his 100% state, saving King Cold after a near-death experience with the Red Ribbon Army, and now goes for the kill and kills number 19. Dr. Gero tries to attack, being the last one, but Frieza just impales him, and he screams at Gero, "You thought you could mess with your measly little army with the greatest universal threat and dominant family in the entire known universe, the Frost Demons. You are the greatest example of what evolution has spat up and thrown up in the sorry known universe that we find ourselves polluted in, which changes right now." Dr. Gero tries for an I-beam, but Frieza retaliates with his own I-beam. Gero shrugs off the pain and tries to run away, but King Cold, every bit of power in his fourth form he has left, performs a gigantic death wave and sweeps Gero right off his feet, crippling him. Frieza just looks down, smiling, and throws a death saucer and just kills Gero. Frieza just looks on at everything and smiles and says, "Point proven. Worthless junkyard trash." And then he catches up with King Cold, who tells him everything, and Frieza says he got most of it, and his father probably wants to know how he survived the Super Saiyan. Well, unlike some of my other stories where he has been killed before his final form, this one was actually creative. You see, whenever Frieza was getting attacked in his third form by Super Saiyan Goku before transforming, Frieza was able to circulate the energy of the angry Kamehameha and his power for transforming and get to his 100% state without crippling himself, without killing himself, and he wanted it to be a surprise attack to launch himself upwards and kill the Super Saiyan at his lowest, because he knew that that attack was just a sporadic attack meant out of just all of his energy. At least that's what Frieza was thinking. But little does he know about Goku. Canon fight. Side story. But when he realized he was actually pushed out of the outer layers of the planet, and he had gotten to his 100% state, he shrunk back down and saw his father's ship making a course wave from the outer edges of Namek to Earth. So he decided to hide in a mini carrier in the ship and wait for the right opportunity to see what his father exactly was doing, besides going to see if he was alive. Although we all know Frieza and King Cold's relationship. But when he saw that his father was going to make sure the Saiyan didn't have a home, this invested Frieza. So he rode along, an emperor just hiding. It was very uncouth for Frieza. But he was invested by this, but he didn't want his father to know that he was alive just yet. So, whenever he saw an impeding, opposing army actually push his father back, this made Frieza realize it's now or never. And here they are. And they both agree that if that guy was the mad scientist and the master, a lab is more than obvious. So, they start destroying city by wasteland, by valley, everything until they finally find a remote location that has a hole patched in the side of the mountain. And Frieza and Cold examine it, and sure enough, it's more than confirmed. This has to be it. And they talk about if this is some sort of trap the Doctor has set. Clearly, it wasn't for them. It must have been for that Super Saiyan. And they wouldn't have lasted a chance. And King Cold and Frieza just death beam storm the frick out of the lab. And I don't even have to tell you guys how utterly and completely destroyed it would be. Then they talk about what to do from here, and Frieza brings up the fact that why don't they just destroy the planet and then go look for the Super Saiyan? King Cold likes this idea, but destroying the planet doesn't serve a purpose anymore. Because why, if it did, why hasn't the Super Saiyan just came back yet by this point? If the army really imposed the plan of his longer than he thought, and he should have had way more than enough time to come back to Earth right now. So their whole plan is almost just pointless by this point, and is just like, it doesn't seem the fitting kind of revenge, rather than them just look for the Super Saiyan himself. They could just sell this planet for profit. They don't need to destroy it. That's for someone like you-know-who. Frieza says, you can have your delusions of grandeur all you want, father. But if the Super Saiyan is planning some sort of attack and knows about us still being a threat, that's why we need to vacate his home before he vacates us out of our empire and out of our existences. Considering the fact us two, along with some rogues, are the only thing that remain of what once was a galactic empire. I will personally not let that slide. And he goes for an ultra supernova and prepares to fire it when he is utterly and completely plummeted down to the Earth's ground by Android 16. And it's just, the underground layer was more than secure still, even after the death beam storm. So of course, the people down there are alive. Frieza is utterly furious by this. But then he sees something that really surprises him and his father. And then he smiles at what he sees about this revelation. Vegeta and Nappa have made themselves known. But it's not the same Vegeta and Nappa. Red ribbon symbols postered across their black and red armor. Cybernetic legs for Nappa, and purely red mechanical eyes for the Saiyan Prince. And Frieza and King Cold can clearly tell these two were dead, so they had to have been experimented on. Well, they'll just be easier to deal with now. And Master Shen, who was working with Dr. Gero and was the sole proprietor of this backup plan of theirs. He tells everybody to attack. Chaozu goes for his paralysis, and Tien joins in with him. And then Master Shen uses his ultimate paralysis, but Frieza bolsters it 100% past his limits and breaks out of it. Then he goes for a Nova Strike, and this kills Shen. It kills Chaozu, but Tien goes for a Tri-Beam before it can hit him fully, or at all. And then he goes for another, and another, and another. Basically, he is second form selling Frieza right now. King Cold's like, I knew I would have to save my son, but I definitely didn't expect it turning out this reverse carded. Well, time for the king to step in. Again. And he rushes forward, but Vegeta and Nappa intercept him. King Cold tries to death beam over and over again, but Vegeta retaliates with his mechanical eye lasers. Nappa uses his cybernetic legs. They propel off of him into rocket boots, just like the rocket punches from the anime, and as rocket boosters. And he just power tackles, propels, and this is a deadly combination. And King Cold can't transform anymore, so he's crippled on the ground. Tien goes to finish them both off with a final tri-beam. But just then, he's kicked into the air by one guy, binded by another, and sliced with a key sword by a final. And he is killed by Cooler's armored squadron. And a death beam rings out and kills cybernetic Nappa in the entrance of the Frost Demon Cooler himself. And Cooler uses an I-beams and goes in, uses a death flash, and kills Vegeta, and the underground bunker is destroyed. Now, all the Frost Demons are reunited, and they all agree their history is not the greatest. Cooler left because King Cold chose Frieza over him. And this isn't him coming back to the Frost Demon whole empire thing, but he knows all of what has happened, and that his family has been disgraced by a Super Saiyan and by an army. And he doesn't need their help. They need his help way more, because he, along with his armored squadron, also have knowledge that the Super Saiyan actually is with his friends on a planet the Ginyu Force was going to, planet Yardret. So, the three Frost Demons prepare to make leeway for Yardret. And this is the next turning point and next question of whether or not our group on Yardret with their training will be able to take on the galactic Frost Demon family, all of them together, or if this is truly where Mercenary Tao's redemption arc cuts off. Stay tuned.
Now get out!
What?
Get out! Everybody get out!